So I just want to introduce myself. I don't know if Dr. Woods is in here just yet. I don't see that he's in here, but I just want to introduce myself. I am Mike Vasquez. I'm an admissions counselor with Shriner University. Um, Today, I just want to say we at Shriner University just first wanted to thank you for attending our first live stream session of 2020. We do ask that you keep yourself muted throughout the entire presentation unless the instructor says otherwise, just to be respectful of others. And if you can, try to save all your questions for the end of the presentation. If you have a question that's on the back of your mind that you just want to get out there, you're more than welcome to type it in the chat. Um, but you will be hearing today's live stream, particularly Dr. Woods is the Dean of Academics and the Dean of Academic Support and Student Outcomes. Today, he should be discussing the freshman experience at Shriner University for majors to learning communities to the freshman seminar class, or if you simply want to know a little bit more about Shriner generally, this is someone to actually reach out to and ask questions about since this is a Shriner Insider. Dr. Woods has been an instructor for Shriner for over 20 years. Um, and if you have any questions about admissions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me at any time. I've been here to help out students tremendously. I've actually graduated from Shriner twice. My little spiel I always like to say is that it was so nice I graduated twice. Um, I know it's kind of cheesy, terrible, but it gets the point across. I have my bachelor's of science. I got it in 2015, and in 2017, I got my master's of business administration. And I can eat, breathe, and bleed Shriner all day, every day. I absolutely love it. Um, so if you have any questions at any time, I'll even put admissions email inside the chat. So that way, if you guys have any questions at all, even after the presentation, you're more than welcome to send any questions that you might have, whether it's where am I at in the process, what else do I need to turn in, what is Shriner life, what is Shriner life like, what are you doing besides watching paint dry? By all means, you're more than welcome to ask me any of those questions. Sound good? Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to put into the chat the Shriner email address that you're more than welcome to send any questions you might have. And if you want my personal one, you're more than welcome to send let's see. Okay. So I put the admissions one. That's a general email that can be sent out, and it'll be hit all the counselors all at once. And then there's also myself. I am an admissions counselor. There's several others, but they're just as helpful as I am. Again, you're more than welcome to reach out and send any questions, even after the presentation, or if it's an hour from now, 2 hours from now, whichever you want to do, you're more than welcome to. Just send that out. Let's see if we can get Dr. Woods in here. We got it, Dr. Woods.
Okay. All right. How we doing? Are we close? You got me, Michael?
We got you. We can hear you. If everybody can hear you, just give me a thumbs up and let us know in the chat.
Thumbs up. Yay. Oh, my gosh. This is so exciting. I'm sorry I was late, guys.
No, you're fine, Dr. Woods. I was just giving them a little background on you, saying that you're the Dean of Academic Support and Student Outcomes, and that you would have some discussion about Shriner if they had any questions whatsoever.
Fantastic.
They can ask it openly. I did ask for them to just possibly stay muted throughout the entire presentation, save questions for the end. If they have something they want to ask, just to type into the chat, and we'll get after it after that. Sound good?
Yeah, let's use that chat a lot. I think that's a good idea, too. Hi, guys. How are you? I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I was running a little bit late. It's just like a real Dr. Woods class. Is he going to show up? Who knows? He might make it in. It might be 5. The college rule, those of you who are going to be new to college, the college rule is you have to wait a full 5 minutes, 10 minutes for a full professor. And then if they don't show up, you're like, yay, we got the morning off. That never happens, by the way. Certainly not at Shriner University. You guys, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to visit with us today. I'm so excited to see you in this format, in this venue. What a crazy year. My name is William Woods. I'm the Dean of Academic Support. I'm an English professor. I teach English at Shriner University. I've been here since the fall of 1997, and I got to say this has been an interesting year. At the start, let me say I'm so sorry for you guys. You're all graduating seniors, and this is certainly not how you planned your senior year to end. I suspect prom has gone out the window. I suspect a lot of graduations went out the window. I hope that your schools are working with you and giving you some sort of virtual ending to the year. On the other hand, if you're like me, I hated my senior year, and I would have been happy like, okay, bye. Could we call it at Christmas instead? Anyway, I'm glad to see y'all out there. Thank you for signing up. As you have questions, I get you for about 30 minutes. I'm going to talk specifically about our IDST 1301 program. We call that our freshman experience. That's a program that all incoming students take at every college in every university across the nation. It's a transition course. It's a course to help you be successful in college. I'll tell you a little bit about that. And then I have been with the school forever and ever. I'm happy to answer any kind of questions you may have along the way. Feel free to start filling up that chat box as I get through my sort of rigmarole. We'll answer some questions along the way. Sound about good? Everybody, give me one of these. Yay! There's so many of y'all out there. Who's? Hey, Michael, who's from the farthest away? Where's everybody from? Do you have any idea?
I don't have an idea as to which students are actually from like
Nice.
Houston, Waco, away. But if you're in the chat, by all means, put up there where you're at.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know where you were. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from a small town in central Texas called Coppers Cove, outside of Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood area. It was I was a proud Coppers Cove Bulldog. I was very excited to graduate from high school and go away from Coppers Cove. It was a tough little town to grow up in, and not just kind of. I was excited to go to college. I've been I've been with a university since I was 17 years old. I like college so much I just kept getting degrees, and then they tell me you have to go now, and I go, well, what if I get another degree? Can I stay a little bit longer? And then I like college so much I said, well, what if I just teach here? Can I just stick around? So that's been my plan, and it's worked out very well. Like I said, I've been in Kerrville, Texas, which is a beautiful little spot in the Texas Hill Country. I hope that you got a chance to come visit us before we all got shut in. I hope you took a tour of our campus. If you haven't, there's a virtual tour online right now. You can find that. I'm sure Michael can send that to you. And then even better, when all this nonsense disappears, when we all get healthy and well and we're allowed to go visit again, y'all come out and see us. It's a really neat little campus. It's a little bit small for those of you from big schools. It's a little bit on the smaller side, but it feels very, very comfortable. It's just beautiful weather year round. We've got a river right down the road that everybody goes kayaking on and hanging out. We have deer that wander across the campus. It's just really, really pretty part of the state. My wife and I have been here, and my family have been here since 1993. And it was a good day in our lives when we got to settle into Kerrville. So the class that I'm specifically going to talk to you about, oh good, I see questions coming in. Cool, I'm going to open those up in just a minute. The class that I'm specifically going to talk to you about, Harker Heights, go Ryan. Ryan knows where Coppers Cove, Texas is. We were always scared of the Harker Heights kids. You guys were tough. The class that I'm going to talk about is IDST 1301. It's the freshman experience. So this is a mandatory class for all incoming freshmen. Like I said, this happens at every college and every university in the state, in the nation. Sometime back, we sort of figured out that sometimes the jump from high school to college can be a little bit overwhelming, a little bit frightening, a little bit. It's just a transition. It's a different world. And if you were like me, you bright young high school students right now with your good SAT scores and your extra credit and your extracurricular and your final exams that you've never had to take because you got to opt out of final exams, all kinds of stuff like that. I landed in college and I was like, buddy, college is a little bit harder than I thought because while I had a good time in high school and I was an okay student, I wasn't a great student. I just kind of like like a lot of us, I just kind of cruised through high school and enjoyed it very much and hated it some days. And then I got out of it and I went off to college and I realized, wow, professors talk fast, just like I'm modeling for you right now. and they put a lot of information on the board, and they put a lot of information on online, and I have to be responsible for a whole lot of stuff. And there's only 3 tests in this class, and when I make a 57 on the first one, I'm not used to that. My grades were pretty good in high school, just like y'all's. And I remember getting in those first classes and kind of like, oh my gosh, I better learn. I better slow down and pay some attention to this. Students in IDST 1301, sometimes with good reason, they're a little suspicious of the class right off the bat. It feels like sometimes a student will look at me and go, is this Dr. Woods, is this a study skills class? I don't need any, I mean, come on, we're not going to spend a lot of time on learning how to take lecture notes or annotate a textbook, are we? And there's some of that. There's some time management. There's some preparing for exams. There's how to work in groups. There's some how to turn in papers, presentations, work your way through classes. And so it does sometimes feel a little bit like a study skills class. And a lot of folks put their kind of go, I don't think I really need this class until you get that first batch of tests back. And then you go, like me, you go, man, college is a little more challenging. I'm not for all of you. I'm sure you're going to do fine. But the truth of the matter is there's the joy and the absolute terror of college is the freedom that you'll get when you land here in the fall and you're in your dorm and you're just having a great time and you're going to class and you're an athlete, or maybe you've joined a fraternity or a sorority, or you're playing ultimate frisbee. Y'all got to come see our frisbee golf course too. That's a nice one out there. Sometimes things get in the way of going to class. There's nobody there to tell you, oh, remember 11 o'clock, time to get your books and go over to the campus and sit in class. And sometimes you might miss a class or two and suddenly you fall behind a little bit. So we do a little bit on time management. We do a little bit on how to just, it's sort of how to college. And I've taught this class for 20 years. And I always tease my students. I say, you know, there's more to this class than just getting up and going to class. Sometimes it just becomes a great big therapy session. Oh no, Dr. Woods, she broke up with me, and I stop class right then. I say, everybody, oh no, we have a broken heart in the front row, and we all process together. I try not to embarrass you too much, but you know, I'm a dad and now I'm a grandfather, so I do a little bit of that dad joke stuff. And then at other times we just work on just anything that you want to talk about. Degree plans, how to work your way through classes, what classes to take. Your freshman IDST 1301 instructors become your advisor. They're with you the first semester. They will help you get ready for the second semester. If you have questions about degrees, occupations, what do I want to be when I grow up? That's that wonderful question. Y'all are going to hit your college campus at 18 years old, and it's going to be the second week of October, and everyone's going to ask you, what are you majoring in? What are you majoring in? What do you want to be? What are you going to do? You know, I just barely got out of Harker Heights, Texas. Thank you very much. I don't know if I'm ready to tell you what I want to do with the rest of my life. And oh my gosh, you guys are coming out. It's such an interesting time in our nation's history. You are literally the COVID-19 generation. You will be the ones that get to come out. Actually, your timing's very good. Come see us in the fall. Come to Schreiner, settle in with us, study for the next 4 years, get a degree that's going to help you no matter what you end up studying, and the job market will be back. You'll be okay. You'll be just fine when the time comes for you to get on the market. So that's good. How am I doing on time? I got 1 more minute, and then I'm going to open it up some questions. So the course is a 3-hour course. We meet together as a group on Tuesday, Thursday afternoons. Every freshman at Schreiner is meeting then. Every freshman goes to the same class at the same time. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about learning communities. I'm going to put a pitch in for learning communities in just a minute. Even those classes, they all meet together. You work as a group, and then you go off to your other classes. A typical college schedule, and I remember this is the kind of stuff that happens in IDST 1301. Colleges, the problem with colleges is it's being run by folks like me who have spent our entire lives in college, and so we forget. You know, it's kind of like, oh well, yeah, there are 18 hours is what you. I remember going off to college and people say, well, you should take an 18-hour load, and I was like, buddy, I can do that in 1 week. What do you mean 18 hours? And what's a core curriculum class? What's a class in general education What are collateral classes? How do I minor in something? Can I double major? How do I get in the honors program? There's just this swirl of stuff that the first few weeks of class you are, or first few semesters actually, you might even not want to ask anybody. You just want to kind of sit there and, huddle down in place and look around. And that's what our IDST 1301 instructors are very, very good at doing. They will guide you through all these questions you have. Like I said, it's part study skills course, it's part time management. We all read, each of the professors who teach this class, we call it a passions class. In other words, we love this class, by the way. Your freshman IDST 1301 instructor is delighted to be there with you because we get to teach it any way we want. We have a lot of autonomy, and we call them passion courses. We take our discipline. For example, I'm an English professor, and so in my class, we're going to do a little bit of literature. No, don't run. Everybody's like, oh, note to self, don't sign up for Dr. Woods' class. But we're going to be working through some of the literary stuff that I know. We have teachers that are going to be doing it as a meditation class. We have teachers that are going to do, it's just whatever they're passionate about, astronomy. And you guys will have a chance to pick which class you would like. You'll sign up for the class and the professor that you want to work with. The learning communities, let me put in this pitch for learning communities real quick. At Schreiner University, we found that it's fun to have like-minded individuals study together. We put them all together. In fact, we even have them called living and learning communities where they actually live together in the dorm. You get about 18, 19, 20 folks who are all interested in either STEM, if you guys, my science and technology guys, the performing arts kids, they're my personal favorites. They're the cool drama, they're the good drama kids. You can't imagine the drama in that hallway. We have students that want to work as engineers. We have students that are doing design thinking. We have a brand new program called the Texas Learning Center for folks that are, even if you're not a history major or a political science major, but you know you're going to live in Texas, the greatest state in the nation. Thank you very much. You know you're going to be in Texas for the rest of your life, and you want to be a leader in some industry, in some field in Texas. You'll have the opportunity to work with a guy named Dr. Don Frazier, who's a leading historian, and he travels. We do a Texas study abroad on the summer. We go out and travel to all the places that he knows. He's got connections with lots of folks in industry, lots of good connections in Houston, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth area. And so as you're picking your learning community, I strongly suggest you consider the Texas Learning Community, a really neat guy to study with. We seem to eat all the time. All we do is go eat chicken fried steak. Again, it's part of the Texas experience. There's lots of good barbecue. And then finally, we have our program called Exodus, which is for folks that are going into the ministry. If you were called to serve, if you want to go into the seminary, if you are just a spiritual individual who wants to be around like-minded individuals, that one's led by our campus minister. There's weekly Bible studies, and there's a chance to do peer ministry with your other freshmen along the way. So remember that, and now I promise I'm going to answer questions. I don't have much time with you. But do remember learning communities. Go to our webpage. If you know you're coming to us in the fall semester, do look at learning communities. We find that students that enroll in learning communities have a tendency to get higher grades. They tend to stick around. They tend to finish their degrees faster, and they have good connections by the time they graduate and they're out on that job market. Okay? So remember learning communities. I'm happy to, at the end of this, Michael will send you my information. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about those as well. So now I'm going to the questions. Here we go. Let's start working our way through some questions. That was IDST 1301 freshman seminar that all of us will be taking. There's a great question. I don't have to read these. You can. I'm such an old guy with technology. Let me now read a question from Leah, who asked, "Does Schreiner set our fall course?" Buddy, we can all read it. Thank you. The answer to that question is, we will help you pick your courses. So in a non-COVID-19 quarantine year, you guys come to the summer and you take a Mountaineer week. We call it a Mountaineer orientation kind of weekend, and you get to take care of some of the business that you need, but mostly you get to work with an advisor one-on-one. This summer, it looks like what we're going to do is we're going to be beaming in just like we're doing right now. We're going to assign you an advisor based on your degree, based on your major, based on your intended field of study, that person will help you come up with a schedule, and then you guys will sign up. You'll go online and sign up for it yourself. Very easy stuff. We have good advisors who are going to help you figure out. And typically, when I said 18 hours, that's about 6 classes in the fall semester. A lot of folks want to stay at 15 hours. If you stay at 15 hours, 5 classes in the fall, 5 classes in the spring, you'll graduate in 4 years. Okay. I'm going to move on through some more questions here. This is the question about the English course. You will not have to. So if you are bringing in AP or dual credit classes, you do not have to repeat those again. And I'm glad you asked that, because that's a little misinformation that floats out there about private, small independent colleges such as ourselves. You say, oh, you can't, don't go to a private, don't go to the small independent colleges. Number one, that's people who are jealous because you are going to have the best experience of your life. If you can go to a small private independent college, do it. Oh my gosh. I'm a product of the big state schools, and I started work at Schreiner University, and I went, oh my gosh, I wish I had come here. You don't have to repeat those classes. You will get credit for any of your AP dual credit classes that you have along the way. Oh, look, I have more technology working on the left. I have people writing me, how did you get this number? Other people are writing me even as we speak. The course that fulfills, yes, Ryan, the question you asked about IDST 1301, it absolutely, it's on every degree plan. In fact, in the world of assessment, outcomes assessment, we have to show that our graduates, I don't want to bore you guys to death. I just lost all of you. Your little screens, everybody went like this. We have to show that our graduates demonstrate certain skills when they graduate, which is a good thing. We want you to be on the job market. We want you to be gainfully employed when you get out. We want you to go to graduate school. We want you to go to medical school. We want you to go to dental school. Wherever your plans are, we have to get you to a set of skills that will show and demonstrate, yes, we've done our job. And this course that I'm telling you about right now is the skill and resource, and it's kind of statewide. Big state schools do it, small schools do it, community colleges do it. Wherever you're looking, there's some outcomes that have to happen. And this course, IDST 1301, fulfills the skill and resource outcome. It will teach you, we spend a little bit of time on, it's the, as some of my students like to call it, no, is this the library tour class? Yes, this is the library tour class. Yes, you're gonna go walk around the library. They tease me because I'm an English professor and I get all excited. I go, is it library day? Let's go to library day. And they all go, well, we don't really need to. I'm like, yes, you do. You need to get in there and get that good library smell and pick up those journals and look at, these are called books. So yes, it's library day. And that's part of the skill and resource one. Okay, that's that outcome we're gonna look on. Nah, oh good, somebody answered a question for you as well. Look at, Michael, is that you jumping in there? Look at you, good job.
No, we actually have Katie helping out in the background, so answer some questions.
Nice.
But,
can Katie hear me? Hi, Katie.
I want to toss in there the Living and Learning Communities link. That way, if you all want to take a look at that, I'm just going to throw that in the chat there for you.
That's perfect. Thank you, Michael. That's a good little link for us as well. Those slots, there are only 20 seats available per Living and Learning Community. I'm not trying to do a hard sale here, but if you're interested, they're filling up fast. In fact, I think honors might be full. We might be a little slow. If you have not already signed up for the honors program, you can ask. Go send a note to Dr. Elliston. He might be able to squeak you in, but these seats fill up fast. So certainly we encourage you to sign up for those as soon as you can. Okay? And Katie, I'm glad you're here helping us. Thank you so much. Katie was terrified when it got to be 2 minutes after 1, and she said, there's still no Dr. Woods. We even practiced this. Technology is hard. Okay. Okay, that's a great question about roommates. I'm going to let either Michael or Katie take that one. There is a roommate survey. I'm not sure when we get roommates assigned. Usually that was something that happened on the orientation weekend, right?
That usually does happen on the orientation weekend, but that can be figured out.
We'll figure out something. They'll get back to you pretty soon. In fact, I will follow up. I promise to get that. Whoever asked that question, check back in with Michael here in a day or two, and I'll have an answer from our dean of students about that as well. We need to get that word out on when assignments are being made. And I'm so glad that you guys are thinking that way. I'm amazed at how many people have kind of gone like, well, what's the point? Here we are. We're not. buddy, we're gonna be here, and we're excited to see you in the fall. We want you here. Now that leads us to a good question, which is there a change to orientation dates as of now because of COVID-19? I say we have every intention of being here. The minute we can be here, you guys will know, and you can be here. Of course, we're at the mercy of how this thing plays out. But I think the orientation dates, they'll get back to you. Classes start late August. We have our fingers crossed. Well, I've got a bunch of professors that are excited to see you guys on campus. We want everything to happen. Okay. Um, okay, good question from our friends in athletics. The question is there some benefits other than the joy of still being able to play the sport that you love and will continue to play, which is fantastic. You have a great support system over in the athletics. Our friend Dr. Bill Rowley is our athletic director. He works very closely with all our athletes to make sure that when your schedule gets set and you have classes, we work very closely with faculty to make sure that I don't know if this is a benefit or not, but there certainly won't be any disadvantages to being an athlete. Now, that's a strange thing to say, and you're like, well, why would there ever? At some schools, I'll just say this. I just know this because I've taught I've taught for a while. Sometimes it's a little hard for the athletes. They have to make up the class, and then sometimes a faculty member will kind of push back and get a little grindy back and say, well, if you're going to miss on Friday, but we love our student athletes. We're proud of you guys. Go Mountaineers. You know, we're big fans, and I can't think of a single faculty member. We're a teaching university. This probably doesn't mean much to y'all right now, but someday it will. In other words, we all ended up at this school because we love to teach and we love to work with students. It's not a big state school. It's not a big research school. We do our share of good research. We got our great work over in the STEM zone, and our scientists are. I mean, we step up all our research and creative activity. Those of you in the arts, those of you that want to come hang out and do some creative writing with me and my colleagues in English department. But a small school such as Schreiner is a teaching school first and foremost. The single most important thing is we hire folks who love to be in the classroom and love to spend time with students. And so for athletes, we have a great relationship between academics and athletics. We understand that you guys came here to represent us on the playing field. We're glad to have you. And so you will find that many of your it's the greatest thing in the world. You'll look over and see your professors watching you on a Friday afternoon, and it's neat. We get pretty excited about that. I don't have a link to the chat. Can somebody help? Yep, somebody grabbed that already. Good job. We are still no date changes to orientation. Yay. Oh man, who is that? Is that Katie? You can tell like the difference between like an English professor who's like, well, we have a great time, and then someone who really knows how to answer these questions.
No. We're just
Let's all
knocking down as you're going.
No,
You're
it's
doing
great.
great.
I'm excited. Thank you. This is good. Who else we got? Anything else? Okay, good question for you. Absolutely have an admissions counselor. So you will have an academic advisor the minute you sign up for that IDST 1301 course. So your IDST 1301 course, again, the people teaching the classes will be your academic, Leah, they'll be your academic advisor for the first semester. And then after that first semester, we try and get folks into, if not their major, right, their major field of study, something related to what you want to be. I want to give you a hint right now and tell you this is perfectly all right answer. You are so allowed. And if anybody yells at you and says, no, that's not right, you say, well, Dr. Woods said, the Dean of Academic Support said I could see it. See if it does you any good. They'll go, who's that guy? Who cares what Dr. Woods says? You can be an undeclared major. You can be an undeclared major for a couple of semesters, 2-3 semesters. People are going to be, you have to sign a degree plan. You have to get you do. The sooner you know what you want to do, and some of you out there, I bet, raise your hand if you're education. I bet there's some teachers out there. You guys have wanted to be teachers since you were this big. I've got some nurses out there. They know that. My accountants, my engineers, a lot of you know what you want to do right now. That's okay if you don't. That's what college should be for. College should be a chance to explore a little bit, and you're going to be sitting in the class one day, and you're going to look over and go, oh my gosh, psychology. This is a great field. I enjoy this very much. This is what I want to do with my life. So when you get here, there's going to be a lot of, hey, what's your major? And if you know, that's great. We're going to put you with an advisor just as soon as we can who understands what you want to do and gets you to the degree and the course and the career that you want. If you don't know, that's okay too. Take a little bit of time and we'll still get you a good advisor who can help you say that. Now, I always say this, and usually when I'm doing this speech, I have parents in the room as well. This is fun. It's just us. Yay. And you can see mom and dad kind of like going like, that doesn't excuse you. We want you out in 4 years. You don't want to drag this thing out. Oh my gosh. Every single year you stay out of the job market is another year of less earning potential. Every single year. Let's get it done, right? And that's why it's 15 hours a semester in 4 years. Take some summer school if you want. We have a Maymester. We have a December semester. We do some online classes in December. It's your degree, it's your time, it's your schedule. But just because you're not declared, for example, I would not wait until we all know this one student, and we all knew this one kid in college. Long about the 5th year, what are you going to major in? I haven't decided yet. Oh my gosh, you have 170 hours. You could be working here. You could be teaching the class. So rock through in that one. Okay, other questions you have? I look like Michael, we look like we're right at time here. Am I can go on a little bit longer. I'm happy to stay here for as long as you guys want me to, but I don't want to keep anybody if you have appointments otherwise.
No, definitely, you're fine. You want to keep answering some questions, by all means.
Sure, happy to do it. Any other questions for you guys? And feel free to ask me anything. It's you separate it. The whites go with the whites. The coloreds go with the coloreds. When you use the laundromat, this is important college stuff. There's always the poor kid in freshman IDST who's got, oh, that was good. Thank you. Y'all like that joke. Good. That's the first time you good. There's always that poor guy sitting with the pink shirt in the front row, like, buddy, you have to separate the colors from the whites. There we go. That's college 101. We do a little of that in IDST as well. 1301. Okay, good. I feel like we've covered a lot of good stuff here. I sure hope that if you were this far in the process, I suspect you have gotten pretty close to deciding on a school. I sure hope you guys are thinking about Schreiner. Wherever you land, good luck to you. Congratulations. I'm sorry you're having such a crappy end to a senior year, or a great end to the senior year, whichever way you want to look at it. But we sure would like to see you out on campus sometime. How's that, Michael? Good?
Definitely like it. It was awesome.
Okay, buddy. Anytime. It's nice meeting you guys. Have a great summer. Stay healthy, stay well, and y'all come out and see us in Kerrville, okay?
Sounds good, Dr. Woods. Thank you so much for being with us. You take it easy now.
All right, we'll see y'all. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.
All right. To all the students and families that are here, again, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. The Schreiner University live stream, this is the first one that we've had. If you have any questions, even if it's 10 minutes after this live stream or an hour or even tomorrow, if you have a question that pops up, what I'm gonna do is in the chat, I'm gonna provide for us is the admissions email address as well as my own personal email address. You're more than welcome to send us any questions you have on your mind, even if it's what are my next steps? Have you received my FAFSA? What is Kerrville like? What is the Schreiner life like? By all means, you're more than welcome to send that and contact us at any time. I'm also going to try to put in here, it is a link to our virtual tour. It is approximately 15 minutes. Now, I know it's not anything like a Marvel movie of 3 hours, but I tell you that it is an awesome virtual tour. It talks about a lot of aspects of Schreiner. It doesn't talk about every single thing, but again, if you have any questions at any time, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and know that I'm going to help you out every step of the way. Sound good? All right. Well, that concludes our session. And again, if you guys have any questions, please, by all means, reach out to me as soon as you possibly can. Other than that, have a great day and try to take it as easy as possible. You have a good one, okay?